We have.
Hello. Good evening. We're here. It's a Thursday, and we are back with the show. Rokk is not with us today. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so hopefully he's feeling better tomorrow. But we have a new lovely guest here, me and Ninja. We have Matthias from the Gaming for 40 podcast.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, since you're new to pretty much everyone except me here, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Matthias. I like dogs and video games. Now, seriously, I work as a PR and marketing manager for a pretty big retailer in Scandinavia and Sweden, and our sort of like marketing efforts are done via our YouTube channel, our Twitter, our social media, and basically it basically evolves around the YouTube where we do podcasts and game reviews and that kind of stuff. And I've been doing games and game industry for roughly 20 years back and forth, and been playing games for over 40 years. That's why we're called Gaming for 40. So that's me basically. Do you want to know what I
Yeah,
play? What kind of games I play
yeah.
and
No, no, we don't
systems?
want to know. They just move along. No.
No, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
of
Uh,
course.
yeah, me and Bjorn, we started talking regarding Stadia. So I really enjoyed Stadia, and uh, basically I'm a handheld addict. I play the Steam Deck. I'm a huge Switch collector. I've been doing handhelds since the first Game Boy. I went through them all, Atari Lynx and everything. So I'm super stoked to see what Rogue Ally will become. And that's me, I think.
That's cool. The Steam Deck is a very good uh, platform to get into content creating. Like it's racking
Yeah.
up a lot of popularity. So I'm happy to hear that you're getting into that, and that it's probably giving you a lot of views and stuff like that. So that's cool. What have you been doing on your channel lately with the Steam Deck?
I play everything, all reviews we do that's PC based. I play them on the Steam Deck, and there's only one game I think that I couldn't get to run. Apart from that, I run most games at like 40-50 frames per second. So, but regarding like clean Steam Deck stuff, we've only done one video where we tested 17 games,
Oh,
like from Bandai Namco and Bethesda, etc. And that was kind of early when we got it in May last year, I think. So we showed what kind of machine it is and how much it can do. And I'm still super impressed. I ordered it first day and got it, May last year. So I've had it for a year now, and I'm so impressed by it every day. I basically use it as well as my home PC setup. Right now, I've got a laptop that I never use. A laptop, it's a Dell XPS. I think I bought it for like $3,000
oh my
back in the
gosh!
day.
Wow.
Yeah, a 4K screen and everything, and I don't want to use this. I want to use the Steam Deck because it's such an amazing experience. So
It
I'm
is.
sold.
It is good. I've heard. We
It
have.
is.
A few weeks ago, we had a friend of the show called Jem on the show, who's also an indie developer who's made a game specifically designed for the Steam Deck, and I mean, he loved the Steam Deck so much that he decided to make a game for it.
Yeah.
That's, so yeah, it's receiving high praise from everyone. It feels like.
The experience is that it basically sells itself because Nintendo has done something amazing. They did handheld since back in 1989 or something with the Game Boy. Other companies have tried to do this with the PS Vita, the PSP, Atari Lynx, Game Gear, Bandai WonderSwan, etc. But no one has done what Nintendo did with the Switch until now. And this basically makes the PC, it gives the PC a console-like experience. You can't really say that mobile gaming on a normal phone is console-like gaming. It's super cool, but you can never. It is hard to find the experience where you can play games like Cyberpunk the same way you would on a PC or PS5 or PS4, etc. So I think this is the first time we see console gaming in some sort of handheld format.
Hmm.
So I think it's an amazing time.
I gotta agree with you because people who are really into PCs, they kind of like don't understand the concept of console gamers because console gamers they just want like a seamless experience. They want to press the button and they want to
Yeah.
play games, right? And this is like an experience that I've always wanted to experience with PC. I always wanted to try like to buy a PC machine that is made like a console where you just have to press a button and play the games. And the Steam Deck seems to be like this finally this generic way to do this. So it makes me very happy that I can finally expand my library and play some games that are exclusive to PC.
Yeah, it's the instant on feature
Yeah.
that you have on the Switch, etc. You have the quick resume on the next gen consoles, etc. It's the same thing here. Just pick up the device. I call it a dad machine because if you have kids, you can always squeeze in some gaming on the couch. You just press the button and you're in the game, basically.
Mhm.
And Valve did it before with the Steam machines, but that wasn't a success. But now I think the Steam Deck opened up for more high-end developers to do machines like this and realize that there's a market for it. So I think yeah, the Switch its own segment. It's a toy in that sense that you sell. Nintendo sells experiences, fun experiences for everyone. The Steam Deck, the PS5, the Xbox Series X isn't for everyone. But if you like cool gaming and or a bit more hardcore than the
Like,
general Switch owner, I think you
yeah,
will enjoy the handheld gaming. What's about to happen?
yeah, and I mean
That's
to
that's
also like I feel like it's a natural step forward from doing like a clip-on controller to your phone or just mobile gaming in general.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's like it's if you want to go from that into handheld gaming, it's either Switch or Steam Deck, and if like unless you're really into the Nintendo ecosystem sort of style games, then the Steam Deck honestly seems like a better option, at least to me. I mean, if you want to Mario and Zelda, you're gonna have to get a Nintendo. That's just the way it is.
yeah.
But other than that, I think it will be more like you have more opportunities with Steam Deck.
I think that some people say, why don't you buy a gaming laptop? But you will still have that sort of experience where you need an office space or a space to put it. You preferably play with a mouse and keyboard, etc. You could play it with a controller, but it's still like a big device that takes its space. And I think uh, going from a like mobile gaming and experiencing it further with the Steam Deck, it's such an amazing experience because you don't need to spend. I mean, quite frankly, it's quite. The price for the Steam Deck, if you go for the lowest tier, it's super cheap. And
Yeah,
if you take the highest tier, what you get for the money, if you compare to a gaming laptop, it's super valuable. Of course, it's not gonna fight with the RTX or GTX Nvidia card laptops. It can't, but it's it's a bit there on the way.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you combine the deck with something like Booster or GeForce Now or Shadow, then you can.
Exactly.
So I mean, best of all worlds at that point. Provided, of course, you have the connection for it. But I think at least in this circle, with most people coming from the like since this community is a community that was built from the Stadia community initially, then I think most of us at this point have a connection for it. So I mean, I kind of want to get. I'm kind of keen on getting maybe the like. I mean maybe the smallest one or the cheapest one or the middle one of the Steam Deck, just to have, and then use that as a like half of it cloud, half of it smaller indie games.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say get the cheapest one and upgrade the SSD because it's 64 gigabytes, and if you play install games, you will have the shaders, and the shaders shader libraries that Steam wants to install. It takes some place. I'm not sure how much you space you have after the OS, but I would assume like 20-30 gigabytes. So I would say go for the mid one or play just cloud games and remote play games, and you have a perfect device. I play remote to the Xbox and the PS5, and it's like playing native.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. I'm kind of the same. Like in terms of like I play, like my son always wants to like every day I go off work. My son is like, "Hey, we play Fall Guys," and like he plays on the Switch on the TV, and I usually just put the keychain on my phone and play through Boostroid, and it's
Yeah.
honestly I have a better like I feel it runs better on my phone through streaming from Boostroid servers than it does on the Switch locally.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like if you have if you have it remote to do remote from your own console, obviously it's just the network, your internal network that has to go through.
Yeah.
And considering I have a good experience connecting to the Shadow data center in Dunkirk, France,
Yeah.
which is like 1,600 kilometers, and I get around 40, like below 40 milliseconds of latency between that. I mean, you do it locally, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a ping test to the GeForce Now data center here in Stockholm the other day, and I think I had 2 milliseconds of latency, which is insane. I mean, I am living in Stockholm as well, so it's the same town, but the cloud has gone a long way. I think it's just like 2 years ago. I think that same connection would have taken like 10 milliseconds or something,
Yeah.
at least. So
Google did something amazing with this Stadia. I loved
Yeah.
it. I was so sad when they dropped the news that they were gonna drop it. But
Yeah.
that's another story about their way to do business.
Yeah, it's yeah. Like I'm having a hard time getting the same experience with other cloud gaming places. Like Stadia was the absolute definitive enjoyment that I personally had. So I hope
Yeah,
that
I mean,
someone else eventually.
yeah, I mean,
thinks the same
for me,
thing.
quality-wise, comparing it now, at least nowadays, I mean, 6 months ago it was almost 6 months ago alone. It was a different story. But I mean, nowadays I feel like I have about the same experience with like quality-wise when I'm getting to the game as with GeForce Now and Boostroid. But the ease of access for Stadia was so. I just click a button and then within 5 seconds you're in.
Yeah.
It's like even with all the steps that these other guys are doing, it still takes like 2-3 minutes to just get the game launched, and then it's another minute before you're in the game. And like it feels a bit that frictionless thing isn't quite there yet.
It's a layer in between that Stadia didn't have, right? Like it's just this one
Or
layer
they had it, but they hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But have you guys played Dreamlight Valley or Speedstorm, by the way, the new Disney games?
I didn't get a chance to play the racing one, but I did play a little bit of Dreamlight Valley.
Because I was thinking, because something I noticed when I was researching, because Speedstorm looks really fun, and I did want to pick it up, but then I realized it is one of those games. It's early access now, and you can pay for it now, but it's going to be free to play when it leaves early access. So it's basically pay to access now, or wait 6 months to a year and then play it for free later. How do you guys feel about that business practice? You think is it fair?
You pay the entrance fee. I would say that people will pay for it. Like Dreamlight Valley, it was trending so hard when it dropped.
Still is, to be fair.
It is, but remember when like the first weeks it was like Animal Crossing. So I mean, it's a viable marketing. It's a business move to do that. I kind of think it's a bit of a douche move, to be frank, when you give it for free to other people when it's going to full retail. I think it could be. If you're going to do that, I think you have to give the players that help you test the game, because an early access is basically a glorified beta period. So I think you have to give something to your testers if they pay for it. So if you pay
Yeah.
for it and you get a nice helmet and some gear and stuff, blah blah blah, I think it might be fine.
Yeah, which
But
you are, to be fair, in these cases.
yeah, I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Yeah, you get some cosmetics for like getting the founders pack.
Yeah,
But
uh,
it is going to. It feels because it feels a bit weird to me. Like I get it market wise, and I'm like it's fine. It's just you know you can buy the game or you can wait a year, but it's at the same time it feels a bit wrong in a way. Uh,
it does, because it is a beta. So I mean, you're using these people that pay for it. Obviously, they're paying for development or whatever. If it's a small company, Disney isn't small, so
yeah,
they
but
probably
neither is
could
Game
afford
Loft.
it
So
anyway.
yeah,
Exactly, they could pay for it themselves, but yeah, it could be seen as greedy, and I agree in some sense. It depends on who does it.
Mm.
I mean, if Sony would do it, if like a veteran gaming company, Sony or Microsoft, etc., you would hear it much more about it. That it's a kind of sad move.
Yeah, and I
What do you
see
think?
that Miss Phoenix has some opinion on that. So maybe we'll have to drag the this opinion for a bit there until
yeah. I mean,
we see
we could
her.
always pivot back to it
Yeah, yeah,
when she jumps in, of course.
exactly.
No, but yeah, I like because it's one of those. On one hand, like if I pay for early access for a game and then that is going to be paid, like paid to get into later, and I either get a discount or I just get in early, then that feels fine because it's the same thing in the end. But I would like a way to get access to like Speedstorm to without having to, because I mean I don't want to bother with, I don't want these cosmetics. I just want to play the game and get in there,
Yeah.
and then if I like
Yeah.
it, I might buy the season pass or something for the kids, like we did with Fall Guys. Like it's we played it for a bit. My son fell in love with it, and then we were like, yeah, I mean, then he lost a tooth, and we're like, yeah, the tooth fairy gift can be the season pass, and now
Yeah.
now he has enough coins to buy 2 season passes because he's been playing so much. So yeah, it's like it feels strange.
Yeah, and you know, I like what Matthias said, because you kind of got to be careful. You know, maybe Disney's or the gaming developers are listening to you, Bjorn. And what if this becomes a
Doubt it.
trend? Yeah, what if this becomes a trend, and every game now you can you pay early access to access, and then you can get it free after 6 months. You know, like let's say every company starts doing that. This will just become bad, you know. But you know, if we see one happening once in a while, you know, it's okay. It's just that I would hate that every free game would do that at first, you know.
Yeah, it's as soon as you see someone succeeding with this,
Mhm.
as soon as you see the numbers, you will see more developers
Yeah.
doing this.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just another way of monetizing, because
Mhm.
I if you listen to our podcast, it's a lot of talk about money and board of directors, etc., etc. If you look at the 5 big dragons, the game companies, in the end, it's all about money. But
Yeah.
it's like loot boxes and stuff. It's a sad development to see that we should pay for early access.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it sucks.
Yeah.
But I know that for like the day when they do make it public for free, that will be a sad day. So you have to
Yes.
give some incentives for people to think that it was well spent time.
Yeah, and if you
Um,
think even like in the wider picture, they could even start saying, "Oh, this $80 game, you can have it 6 months early for $120." But if you want it
Yeah,
on
that's
release
coming for
date,
sure.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna try
yeah,
that.
yeah, I feel like it's coming, and
yeah.
I don't like that
Yeah,
because
and it's,
yeah,
yeah, and especially if it's a, I mean, especially if it ends up being a competitive game, because then you're essentially paying for
training.
access to yeah, like
Yeah.
you let me train 6 months in advance
Yeah.
before the league starts. So like, is that really fair?
Yeah, I know a game that failed by doing that. It's called Scavenger, and they gave early access to people. And when the game
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out, they like the people that were in the game before, they actually had like special abilities and stuff like that made them better than the new people who came in. So basically, nobody knew was coming in, and it just failed. It was like a super failed project. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing that one, I think, but I
Oh.
lost interest in it kind of quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might
Did you
still
play
be
it, Bjorn?
live.
I never did actually. I think that was in my like in the time of my life when I was like I played like I didn't really have anything to play on anymore. My old PC broke and I was like in between systems. I did use Liquid Sky for a while. That was my foray into cloud gaming, but which was like, I mean they I think they went under in 2018 or something.
Yeah.
So and I used it for like a year
Wow.
before that. So. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I never did, but I did read about it. Never
Yeah.
caught my interest.
So yeah, like Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 3, they're doing it well though, because you can pay the full game at at retail price when it comes out, and then you get access to some of the gameplay before that.
Yeah,
so,
and to be fair, in that case as well, you're getting like if you buy the like for the price of the standard edition, you are getting the ultimate edition.
oh wow, okay, I wasn't aware of that. That's
So you get
amazing.
like the digital goodies that they package with the like digital deluxe edition. You get for free if you buy the early access. So I'm not sure if you still do though. I think there might have been some sort of cutoff point there. I'm not really sure.
But still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Yeah.
But I mean,
Roster-
I do like that we can, be part of the game development early on and help steer where it goes. But yeah, it's a slippery slope, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw the mentioned roster there.
Yeah.
Diablo 4 beta May 12th to 14th. You guys gonna play it?
Not on my end. I'm not in the mood to play Diablo lately for some reason. I'm not sure why. I just have so many games I need to play, but it's definitely something that interests me in the long run, probably. How about you,
Why do you
Matthias?
think it? Yeah, why do you think they put it that date? Do you know what happens the 12th?
I'm not sure.
No.
One of the biggest releases of the year, if not the biggest one.
Oh, is it? Is it Star Wars? No, that's not Star
No,
Wars.
no, no, bigger.
No.
It's not Final Fantasy 16. That's in June.
And Zelda is also in June, right? What's
No, it's Zelda.
Zelda in
Is it
May.
Zelda?
Yes, Tears
Oh,
of the
right.
Kingdom.
It's
That's
in
true.
May, right? I was.
Yeah.
In my head,
Yes.
Zelda is in June. But
Good
no.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, placing the beta on that day. I mean, a lot of people want to play both the games. They could have done it the 10th till the 14th or whatever, or the weekend before, etc. So I mean, it's kind of sad day to. I'm not sure if it's a plan that they don't want to have maximum servers or whatever, but it seems a bit like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think either they want to try to, like either they want like, oh, if we get any bad news during the, like if something bad happens and people don't like it, then everyone will just be busy reading about Zelda anyway, so no one will notice.
That's true.
Or,
Never
That's
know.
true.
or it's a case of like, oh, everyone's going to be talking about Zelda. If we can go try to like take some thunder from that could be really effective. Like
Yeah.
if it's really good, people will talk about it. like our game instead of Zelda on Zelda's release date weekend.
It's kind of tough to compete with the Nintendo on this one.
Yeah, it's a risky
it will
move.
get drowned the news. Everyone will talk about Zelda.
Oh yeah.
It's so crazy.
Oh
yeah, I should play the first one. I haven't done that yet.
You should.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. I've actually intentionally kept it a bit because I was meaning for it to be like my son's first Zelda game to be like, yeah, well, let's start with that a little while when he's a bit older, and then I haven't got around to it. I think we could probably introduce him right around now, but I think might wait for next year or something, and then I could play it along with him.
You waited with it so you can rush it before you play in Tears of the Kingdom now.
Exactly. Or maybe we can buy some like dual pack in a year or something.
Yeah,
nice.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe
nice steel book and with both games in it, maybe.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Get on that Nintendo.
I'll speak to them.
Yeah, good. I mean, you have your ways in through Bergsala, so.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be an amazing game. What we've seen so far. I haven't seen anything more than what you have seen, but I mean what you've seen in the trailers, and I've read rumors and stuff, as most people do sometime, and it's before I thought like 6 months ago. I wasn't so sure that it would be a polished game, that maybe it will be suffering from the Nintendo Switch that is old by now. You talk about hardware, and this is basically, the Switch is basically like Samsung S2 or something. So I mean, it came out 6 years ago, but I mean it's 8-year-old technology, 10-year-old technology. Yeah. So I wasn't so sure that this game would be running this good as it seems on the trailers. But I mean, we've seen other Switch games that have serious frame rate problems right now.
Yeah.
But I think it will be polished.
When it's built around the platform, right? It works a lot better. The Switch reminds me of like NASA, because what they do, they send satellites from the 70s, and then they still find like use to these satellites even today. Like they send up upgrades to the satellite, and they still work super well. So I feel like that's what they're doing. They're just like keeping to find new kind of technology to work with it.
They are masters of like optimizing the power that they have and knowing exactly how to use it. It's kind of like how Naughty Dog made like when Naughty Dog makes games on like the last game of the generation on Sony platforms. It's like it's magic.
They use they're masters of they use all they got and put one last game in there, and it's always amazing. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about, I love talking about this. I don't know if we can go into it, if we have other subjects we need to cover. But I mean, optimizing stuff. You talked about NASA. I mean, we all know that they landed on the moon. They say with like a C-64, and. That Mars rover thing, I read it the other day. They updated the software, which is like 15-20 years old, and I mean it shouldn't be that difficult to optimize games, but the problem is that you use game engines, and these game engines are developed for newer consoles. No one is developing Unity, the latest Unity or Unreal 5 to be able to run on a PS3.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have some like the framework of the game engine needs some CPU power, some memory, etc. So I mean, if you would develop it in assembler or C++ yourself, you could optimize it till to hell. But with the game engines, it's more difficult. Yeah.
is a
Right.
great example of that because
Yeah.
as running in assembly and they like it's I mean that was running on like 90s hardware and
Mhm.
it's simulating thousands of things at once without dropping a
Yep.
single frame.
Yeah.
It's
Some of
it's
them,
pure magic.
they're just not satisfied with the engine, and that's what they do. They say screw it, and they go and work on their own. Like Lumos. Lumos is one of them.
Oh
They
Yeah.
love
really?
their own engine to do that.
And I also think that more today it's super easy to do your own game. You can do it in Pico or Godot or Unity or whatever. You don't need to be able to program because the engine does it for you.
Yeah, and if you do need to program, you could always use like AI to help you
Yeah,
out, or
yeah,
use
it's
Google things to
basically
find like someone else has made a script that can do
exactly,
exactly the thing you need, and you just copy paste.
and it's scripting, and the scripting needs to translate this to computer language, and the computer language has to be transferred from the engine to the CPU, etc., etc., blah blah blah
Mhm.
blah. So we're game developers. If you look at like the guys that Carmack, Romero, it's Romero, right? John
Yeah.
Romero.
For Doom and all of that.
Yeah. If you look, yeah, if you look at those guys, they could code. You know,
Yeah,
I don't say that coders can't code today, but I think since we speed up stuff, since we make stuff more effective, it's probably harder to find a good assembler coder today. So I
Yeah.
think the tools we use make it easier for us to push out AAA games, but it also makes it harder to run on, crappy hardware.
Exactly.
I was involved in a game project back in '97. We did it was a crappy game. It was called VR Sports Power Boating for Interplay, and I was doing graphics for it. And my boss there, that was around the time when VR, no, V Rally came out. And
Oh,
during
yeah.
the development, he said, I want, solar flares, like flares, lens flares, because they've got it. We need it. So he added stuff all the time, and also he had the minimum requirements. He looked at the fattest computers you can find, which was probably something like Pentium 75 or something back then, and he said, make it work on this one really good. But what about the computers below that one
that
that
people actually
people could
have.
afford? Yeah. So I mean, I think people today tend to think that we have good hardware, but the poor guys in India or whatever,
Yeah, they don't, and I mean, yeah, and I think that's also like because whenever I see like since whenever I go into like the comment sections on any basically any tweet from any of the cloud providers, it's always like 10 people from India, Brazil asking like when are we coming to this region,
yeah,
unless it's already available in that region, but most of them aren't, and I get it. Like as someone who runs, like I mean, I do have a Switch and I do have a PS4, and like I do have an 8-year-old mid-range gaming PC. So I mean, I run like that's what I run my games on for the most part. But I do also have high-speed internet and I do have cloud gaming services. So like I don't have any modern hardware. So whenever someone's like showing off the the latest feature, like look at this ultra wide support that we added to this game. It's like, yeah, cool. I don't have one of those, and I'm probably not gonna have one for another couple of years anyway. So, like, it's cool for the like 1% that
we can't afford it.
Yeah,
we can't afford it.
Most people can't, and that's just the reality of it. So, and I think that's why mobile gaming is so massive, and I think that's also like honestly that's part of why handhelds can be, as we mentioned before, can be such a big great step in. I mean, my first console was a Game Boy Advanced or Game Boy Color that I then sold to get a Game Boy Advance instead. Back in I don't know when. I think I managed to pick it up. Like I was remember saving up money for it, and then I managed to pick it up on like a yard sale for really cheap. My parents were like, "Yeah, you can save up. If you save up for it, you can buy it." And then they didn't expect me to be able to. And then suddenly I found one like at a thrift shop for super cheap, and I got it.
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, I think I have to go across town to some meet up with someone to like." I think I found it online. It was like meet up with some random guy that I didn't know. And I was like 10 years old or something, and like give them 500 crowns or whatever it was for a Game of Color. And I remember my parents were. I think I went to like
Did you go to Orten, Bjorn?
Julstower, yeah, the Julstower, like northern Stockholm, and I lived in southern Stockholm. It was like halfway across, like the other side of town, and my parents had to come with them. Like, are you sure about this? Like, yeah, I'm getting a bloody Game Boy.
Nice.
But yeah, that was a great.
That's
the
amazing.
Game Boy Color, and then the Game Boy Advance. After that, I had a lot of fun memories with those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still have my Game Boy Advance, although currently my sister-in-law is borrowing it because she wanted a nostalgia trip.
For sure.
It needs a piece of duct tape to keep the battery hatch on, otherwise it falls off. But yeah,
it's easy when you talk about PS5, Xbox, PC gaming, etc. It's easy. Like we all know that gaming is the biggest industry in the world in entertainment.
Yeah,
it crushes the music and the movie industry together. It crushes, I think, North American sports like NBA, NFL, etc. It's bigger than that. And if you look gaming, you usually put together like next gen consoles, Nintendo Switch, maybe some PC gaming, etc. But it's so easy to forget about mobile gaming. That mobile gaming is a huge part of this, but you don't put it in there.
Yeah.
Apart from now, when Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard, they get King. They are about to drop some sort of Game Pass solution for mobile phones, because then you have 1.42 billion people in India. So all of a sudden, this grows from like 500 million or 700 million players that plays consoles to have like billions of players potentially that plays on portable devices.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Logitech G or whatever cloud-based device or mobile phone, etc. I also think that's why they do the video game Olympics based on mobile devices.
Oh,
have you heard about that?
No, they did. No, I haven't heard about that. So
you haven't heard about the
games, or
you haven't heard about the official video game Olympics?
Oh no!
Have you heard about Ninja?
No, I did see. I think a couple of weeks ago I saw something. I completely forgot about it though.
I love the sound of that though. I'd watch that.
Yeah, would you?
Yes. Wait, is that a trick question?
Hang on, let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, it's look for Olympic.
Olympics.
It's in I think
Olympics. Olympics esports. Hang on, let's bring this up on screen.
Yeah. So this is basically the Olympic delegation, like the official Olympic.
Olympics.com.
Oh, it's really the Olympics. Oh my gosh, it's not even like
yeah.
What?
This is the real esports Olympics, and we have this two sides to this. We could have Olympics with Fall Guys or Counter-Strike, etc., but we know that they would never do Counter-Strike in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So what they did is,
here we have the list.
Yeah, they focus around these real sports games. Like archery, that's tic-tac-toe. Baseball is the Nintendo Switch version of, I think it's
WBC
Konami. Yeah, it's Konami's sort of cutesy. If it's Capcom or Konami, I can't remember. You have virtual taekwondo and stuff, and the idea with this is crap if you look at the sports because it won't cater to esports viewer that are used
Yeah.
to StarCraft and stuff. On the other hand, it will cater to the people that have a mobile phone in India. It will cater to people that can't afford the PS5 or the Xbox or a nice gaming PC.
Yeah, it wouldn't
So,
surprise me if Ubisoft see a lot of new sales of Just Dance after this. After this is
will.
aired.
They will. You also have
So-
Gran Turismo for car driving.
Yeah. So it's chess.com, Tic-Tac-Bow, WBSC e-baseball, Swift for cycling, Just Dance for dance, Motorsport is Gran Turismo.
Maybe
Sailing is
Maurice could
virtual
get in
rig-
the Olympics now.
Yeah, and exactly. And sailing is virtual regatta, and then tennis clash, and then as you said, the virtual taekwondo for taekwondo. And those are the 9 confirmed sports that's going to be a part of the Olympics Esports Series 2023.
I'm watching a video right now and they're playing baseball. It's kind of cool. Like they're really serious. They're really like
Yeah, it's going to be in
concentrating and
Singapore.
everything. Yeah, that's
The-
cool.
The baseball game, I think you pay $1 for it.
Oh, it's that cheap.
You
Wow.
should really, yeah. I think they lowered the price because of this. If I remember correctly, it was like priced as a normal game before, but it looks like a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Tic-Tac-Bow, the archery tic-tac game, but it's inclusive, and I like that idea that everyone can try out for a place in the Olympics. I think that's amazing. Not everyone
Yeah, I
can
agree.
try out for a place in Counter-Strike. That's for a few chosen.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's also like I think I would assume that these are also games that don't have a lot of cheating. I mean, if you go into games like Counter-Strike or Fall Guys or things like the bigger games, there are cheats available, and there are people who are cheating. And I
I'm
suppose-
pretty sure that you can get. I'm pretty sure that you can get cheats for these because I think Tic-Tac-Bow it's a free-to-play loot box game.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not too stoked on the game, so I'm pretty sure that someone can write a script for it.
Yeah, probably.
Hey,
Hello, Miss Phoenix.
Hi.
Hey.
Evening.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. I just want to say, Rouster, I want that photo everywhere. Discord,
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube. I want it on your passport.
Yeah, let's bring it up. There we go.
I want it tattooed on my arm. I just want to see Rouster on my arm there with this.
Browser with his arm on your arm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
checks out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. No,
Oh
I'm
my
good, thank
gosh.
you.
Let's see. We were talking about something before. You said you wanted to join in on that. So let's see here.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
so
about
you-
Dreamlight Valley early
yeah,
access
so you-
payments.
Yes,
Right,
I'm
yeah.
a big fan of Dreamlight Valley, and although I'm not quite sure where I stand on the concept as a whole, for Dreamlight Valley I got the standard Founders Pack, and I think I spent about £22 because I used some of my Nintendo Switch credits. And within like the Founders Pack, you get like you said, you get like wearables, furniture, stickers, but you also get like moonstones, which is like their
Yeah, the
in-game
currency.
credit. Yeah, and I think it's about 8,000, and that equals, I think, about £20 if you were to buy that. And considering, like, I've spent, I think I've
that's fair.
clocked in 135 hours on the game already, so that's probably only cost me £4. So for that game, personally, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that, I honestly didn't remember how much value you got out of it. But if it's that much value, yeah, if it's a bit more okay. But like the practice in general, I'm leaning towards against. But this particular case seems to
Yeah,
be
like
decently.
if it happens everywhere, it kind of sucks. But like in this situation, what's nice is that you pay if you want to support them, right? You pay if you think you want to like it or you want to play it. You pay if you want to get the extra goodies if you're into that also. So I gotta agree with you guys. Like it's very nice. It's just we gotta be careful. Just
Yeah,
we don't want this to be a trend.
It is strange. It's strange, and I think I'm okay if it's like a small indie game. where they could do with the money to make improvements, employ more people, get a better end result. But if the bigger companies started to do it, like was mentioned, I think then I'm a little bit like, you should be paying me.
I was going to ask the question if, for instance, Sony or Microsoft Game Studios does a Kickstarter or Indiegogo for a game, it happens that big companies does that, and I understand why. They don't want to risk money, but it's a sour taste.
Yeah,
Don't you
it
think?
depends on the situation, right? Because if they were never going to make the game, and then they're like, oh, if the fans want to support it, then we'll do a Kickstarter and we'll make the game. Chimney 3 is a good example of that. Like it was never going to happen, and then they made the Kickstarter and it worked out. So, but if it was just like, yeah, we're making Halo and you guys are paying it, it's just no, don't do that. You got the money, just do it.
It definitely depends. And I was thinking about it in the car on the way, just before I switched on. And,
Yeah. And I mean, it's like I remember when I think when both Ubisoft and like Ubisoft did it with Heroes of Might and Magic, and Paradox has done it with Crusader Kings. Basically, like what they wanted to try out doing, like, can we do a Crusader Kings board game or a which I have down there, or the Heroes of Might and Magic board game that Ubisoft is trying to do. Both of those were kickstarted, and I think that's probably because they wouldn't happen. Like that's not something that these companies would invest otherwise because they're not sure. Like if they didn't do it, like if they just did it and sold it, people wouldn't buy it enough for it to be worth it.
But can you be safe all the time? If you would play it safe all the time, we would. That's the problem with some of the AAA industry, that we get bland products that are the same as the other products we've already seen. I love the indie gaming industry, and we've done interviews with many of them, and there we see some interesting stuff happening. But when we get the next open world game from a AAA studio, it's not that much of daring doing these projects.
No. And what do you ask them, right? Like, oh, did you enjoy making the exact same game? Like, what did you enjoy better? Like, I don't know. What do you ask them?
It's like Fast and the Furious 9 or Fast and the Furious 15. It's
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, yeah, it's a risk, and I wish that they were more prone to. Did you say prone to take risks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that they would risk it more. But as long as people pay for the same product, we'll see the same product. I think this way with paying for early access is just another way for them to, as with loot boxes, etc. It's a thing we'll see more of, because they need to get the money in, and that's for investors,
Mm-hmm. I gotta agree, because if you look at the inflation between the 90s and today, the price actually haven't gone up a lot, compared to what it is. So it is smart what they're doing. It is smart that they're making people pay with loot box and stuff, which we don't have to if we don't want to. So it helps out for people like us who doesn't want to pay more, but it's still, it's still a gray zone.
Yeah. Did you guys see this game?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a honestly indie game being developed in Unreal. Single player FPS that tells the story of a tactical police officer from the perspective of his body camera.
Have you seen this, Miss Phoenix?
Yeah, so I saw this, but I saw it with no context, and I thought it was like
real,
actual body cam footage.
Yeah. So this is Unreal 5, obviously. But what I wanted to go into with this, because I mean this is all we've seen with like this short, like what is it, 2-minute video, and while it looks good, it's also like, do you guys think realism to this level in games, like, is it a good thing? Does it help? Like, it's cool, but would it be fun to play?
Yeah. So It definitely seems like a very cool experience. Some people, there's a lot of talk about this game right now, and I've been reading. It's really fun to see everybody's reaction. Um, some people don't like it because it could almost give like PTSD, right? Like from almost because it's so real, and doing co-op works like that. I don't know how to like say it, but it's just you still have to be careful putting these games real like that because you could how can I say that? You could like frustrate someone or like offend someone by doing something like that.
I think it's a thin line when games. We've been discussing this in Sweden. I'm sure that Bjorn remembers the video volts discussion that we
Oh
had in
yeah.
Sweden in the 80s. You played games like Ikari Warriors or Commando on the C64, and we had a woman called Maggan that was in the sort of like she was. I don't know what she was, but she was like, we need to stop the video violence from video games and movies. And if you look at it now, where games are, when we like on record there, that looks basically super realistic. I don't think that video games necessarily creates violent people, but there will always be some nut job that thinks that looks cool. And I thought about this when I read the notes, that you don't look at, normal people don't look at pictures of war crimes, etc., and enjoy
Yeah.
them. But in video games, if they're super realistic, you watch them. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful what we do, because there will always be nut jobs that thinks this looks cool and take the
Yeah,
step
it's
to
like
do stupid stuff.
I think it's like the no Russian of part of Modern Warfare, or
Yeah.
whichever it was, which was like that was kind of one of the first time the games really went to this like a whole new a new thing that hadn't really been done before in that sense, and it's not really been done that much since either, and like it worked there, but I don't think we don't want more of it necessarily, I think. And I think also like if you do too much realism, and I've found this out with like playing Skyrim mods, when I did install too many mods to make it like as realistic as possible, you eventually get to the point where it's no longer fun. Where the gameplay suffers from it being too real. Like it's no like it. I find it fun to play Skyrim with having to bring along a warm clothing when I go up into the mountains, or like eat and sleep and drink every now and then. But I don't enjoy it when I have to when I can't carry more than just a few things, because that's not realistic. And I was like, yeah, but I it's a game at the end of the day.
Exactly,
I'm playing this to have fun.
I want to jump off a small cliff and not have to go into hospital and spend 3 months in bandages. Like, there's like there's a
Imagine
line,
the
isn't
respawn
there?
time in Call of Duty if it was
exactly.
realistic.
I think there needs to be like a cut-off with like the realism impact. I think you really want to be immersed in a game and feel part of the game, but there is, like what was just said, there is a fine line of when it becomes not enjoyable.
Yeah, not just that, but like you play that, and I don't know, you get the feeling you're just like, whoa, okay, this is too real, like it just not a good feeling, unless you're nut job. Whoever said that, Matthias or Bjorn, like I think only nut job people would would enjoy this type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
I think good.
Yeah, you can create that game on record and enjoy it because it's realistic. Why I play games is I love pixel art games and stuff, and I rarely play realistic games. I played Call of Duty before, but not these days. So I mean, games are for most people, I think, a lot of people at least, they're made for you to dream about other worlds and dream about positions where you're not usually in. And I think a lot of people today don't take Call of Duty seriously, like that they're actually there. Like, oh my god, this is so realistic. But when that day comes, when it's super realistic, you know, like Phoenix said, you wanna have that feeling where you can jump off a cliff, and Bjorn said you wanna carry more than a spoon. And I think that's the thing with video games. You want to be able to imagine worlds and situations where that you can't otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see like I could see this work with like specific things. You know, like people really like paintball, right? Like in real life, paintball guns and stuff like that. I could see that working, right? Like if someone would create like a really photorealism paintball game, and people would enjoy that in maybe a virtual reality type of place. But I guess it's not the same because it's friendly, right? You just shoot paintball, whatever. So it does make a bit of difference there. But I think the technology should still be used, but just be careful about it.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
like we also shouldn't shy away from like these photo games being made as well, because in a sense, like just the same way as there's a space for like documentaries about things, like a documentary about specific act of violence that happened that was a bit that became part of the news, like a documentary about that where you can deep dive and learn from it. I mean, if this turns out to be a game where you can really like a game like Spec Ops: The Line, not to spoil the story there, but like because it's a great story, but like that is a game that plays on your on what you expect out of video games, and gives you something to really think about. And if this game does the same, then there's a space for that as well. And the same goes for like games should be allowed to be art, and art can be gruesome at times, but at the same time, like I wouldn't want a Call of Duty looking like style game like this.
I think we need to prioritize the storytelling, and instead of just doing something that has no narrative, no story, nothing, and just gore, because then it's just nasty pictures.
Yeah.
So I think if you focus on storytelling and like it's been all the time in entertainment, the most important thing is to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you never forget that, then you can make it as realistic as you want, I think.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I think you're a little bit like me, Matthias. Like, I don't like games where you're just like thrown in the world, like survival games, right? Like you're just thrown in the world, no story. You just have to like figure out. That's not my type of game. I want a story. I want something to be beautifully artistic. I want to follow something. So definitely, it would work better with me for sure. Miss Phoenix, so do you like story-oriented games? I know that you play a lot of horror games, but like, would you enjoy horror games without a story too?
So I do think it's really important because I feel like when I play a game, I get really attached to the characters more than what the game looks like. So, it was always, right, we've got to go save Princess Peach, or, let's go, like, rescue, like, Zelda, or, Final Fantasy, for example. There's so many fantastic, amazing characters, and we've been playing through 7 at the minute, which is, it is really old, but it's brilliant. But I don't look at it and think, this looks terrible. It's because I've just got such a connection with just, like, all the characters of, like, all those games, and I do love that, but I do come from a first-person shooter competitive background as well. So it was very much, you're in a game for 15, 20 minutes, you move on, you go to the next one. But that's just because of the group of people that I kind of grew up with in gaming. So we used to go to like LAN events and stuff. So for us, it was really important that we sat down and played the same game over and over and over again every night, because that's what we had to do. But now that that's kind of in the past, I am getting a lot more into the story. And I've been playing Hogwarts a lot as well lately. So just like, I do like those open world kind of feel games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, just a mix up of both games. Like, they're all fun. It's just it's nice to mix it up, and depending on your mood. Yeah.
As Neil says, everyone wants to play games differently. At the end of the day, it's part of. I think that's part of why games is such a massive industry. There is something for everyone in it, even more so than any other medium.
That's a good way to say it. I like that. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the best industry.
Yeah,
hands down.
I mean, yeah, definitely. And I mean, I'm curious to know, because I mean, Matthias, you work in the industry. I would say. So, like, is it different seeing it from the inside? Do you think?
Absolutely.
Or is it still the same passion within, like, that you see from gamers inside of the industry as well?
I guess I've been part of two major projects, game projects, if you look at from development viewpoint. And if you're on the development side, I would say you take away a lot of that movie magic. If you would be part of a movie project, you see what everything looks like without all the effects, etc. So I mean, I was part of a game called Rally Sport Challenge 2 for the Xbox.
Wow. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I love that game. It was amazing. I worked at DICE back then. And this was before Battlefield. The first Battlefield was released. It released at the end when I was before I quit my job. But when you place pace notes and you see all these billboards and all these, when you're in the editor and you zoom out and you see the world from behind, it takes away a bit of that magic. So I think I'm a bit broken in that sense that I usually analyze games. I listen to the sound effects and know that that's Foley, and also today we do reviews and stuff, and then I need to play it in a certain way to know what I'm gonna focus on in my reviews. So I would say that it takes away some of the passion from the games, but I still enjoy playing games. I love games, video games. It's the best thing ever. But sometimes you might see what kind of intention the developers have, and So yeah, I don't know if that was a good answer, but ask questions and I'll gladly answer them.
Oh, Nina, we can't hear you.
No.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And I think Bjorn can relate because he does reviews, right? So you must understand how it is playing a game while reviewing it in mind and not.
Yeah, and I feel like this was hard to like. I mean, a review, unless you do reviews like Luke Stevens does reviews, like 4 or 6 hour deep dives. Then I mean, unless you do that, you can't cover everything, every aspect of a game. You're going to have to focus, like boil it down to basically just a few, like 2 pages of text at the end of the day, and that's that can be hard. But also, like, it does mean you try to find the things to focus on, and then like whole aspects of the game you just gloss over because it's like, yeah, this is normal. Most games do this. I'm just not gonna go into it at all, even though it could be a massive part of the game, because it's not like it's and then it does this thing that everyone else does. Like Ubisoft Towers, this game has them too, even if that happens to be a big part of it. And I think that, like, going into a game with that in mind is a bit different from just playing it just for fun.
The biggest problems I would say is that usually when you get codes or physical games like 2 days before, we need the video done.
Oh boy! Yeah.
So I mean, Dead Rising 2. Now we've been playing that for 2 weeks, and that's probably the longest we've had. We did Minecraft Legends, and we got that Monday, I think. We did that one today. Like some games, we might have a game like Hogwarts Legacy, and we get that like 2 days before. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and you need to put like 8 to 10 hours into that. You need to know what people want to hear, and you also need to be, do you say, objective, to have a
Yeah.
neutral standpoint. And even if I don't like something personally, I know that Miss Phoenix might like it, or Bjorn might like it, or you, Ninja. So we need to find those sort of small points to focus on. Find out what's the deal with this game. Why will people like it, and who will like it? So, but it's the best job I could have. I've been playing probably 300 games the last year. So
Wow. Do you still have time to play games on your personal time?
no,
Okay. But
I don't.
I'm happy that you're still enjoying it, though. They're not meant to,
Yeah.
to be there, but yeah, no, that's awesome.
I usually play like, for instance, we did Destiny 2, the latest DLC expansion, and I was playing with people and we had fun, and then they keep on playing and I have to go to the next ones. I have to leave it, and that's kind of sad when people are staying in a game and putting maybe 4 or 5 hours in a game every night, and I can't be there.
Mhm.
So it's got its backsides, its negatives, but I still enjoy it because we get to play so many fun games, and we get to spread the information. That's the most important thing for us, to build gaming culture. That's
Yeah.
genuinely the love we have to. I think, Bjorn, you know what we are like, and that we
Yeah.
want to spread the culture and get people to play games and have fun.
Yeah, no, it really should. Like, I mean, I mean, I hang out with in your Discord as often as I can, which is as often as I would like. But still, like, it's like the vibe. The vibe that you have in there. I mean, you are a Swedish podcast, on the back of a local. I would say a local, like, e-retailer of video games, and still have such a massive vibe in that Discord. Like, I think that Discord is more alive than Discords that are like 5 times the size, which is quite telling what you have achieved with it. So yeah, it's
Thank you.
it's hard to keep track of everything going on in there because it's so much activity.
It is. I think the thing with us is that we never lie. If a game is crap, and even if we have 5,000 copies of it in stock, we will still say that it's crap. Because we have to be honest. We have to be. It might sound cheesy, but we have to focus on love, spreading love, and being inclusive. We have 2 slogans, and it's like, games are for everyone, gaming is for everyone, and we also use what's the other one? För oss som gillar spel lite extra mycket.
Yeah, for those of us who
How
love
would you
games a
translate
little
that?
bit more than
Yeah, a
usual.
little bit more. We're a bit more serious, but it doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, or in between, or green, or blue, or whomever you are. So that's our idea, and also never lie. Like, if
Yeah.
a game is crap, we're gonna say that. So that's, I think, with that and spreading love, and I think that's important for people to be like that in the industry.
You hear that, Miss
Yeah, for
Phoenix?
sure.
More love. That's the trick to be a famous content creator.
So I just thinking, like, I'd be absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
Like, I could never tell anyone like something wasn't
I mean, that's
great.
someone who just did it
Like,
for the
someone
first
could
time.
cook me like an awful meal, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Like, this tastes
Yeah,
great."
like, I'm generally the same, and I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'd really
we published
struggle,
the
so
review I did
yeah,
for
well done to you
Oni
too.
just today, and I mean, it was the first time reviewing something that I honestly didn't like, and I was like, yeah, 2 out of 10, this is not good. And I mean, it feels bad because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the people behind that game, they didn't set out to make a bad game. They
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't think I don't believe that there's a single developer out there who wants to make a bad title. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, it sucks when you do that, but and then on the other hand, when you play something that maybe not a lot of people know about, and you realize it's really good, and you get to spread that to people, that's sort of the best thing there is.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Because when you review a bad game, I feel like it takes twice as much effort, right? Because you have to
Yeah.
like try to find words that are like nice, try to be nice, even though you know there's a lot of stuff you don't like, and then you have to go through the game because, and even if you know you're trying to find some positive things about it, and it just takes a lot more effort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One example is we did Minecraft Legends today, and I don't like the game. I think it's boring. It's me personally. I would give it a 5 out of 10. But in our review, my standpoint is that this is probably perfect for your 10-year-old.
yeah,
This is a
my son
great
is loving
game.
it. It's hard
Yeah,
for him, really hard, but he
they
likes
will
it.
love it, and it's a challenge, etc., etc. But for someone that's 48 years old like me, that played Minecraft and other games for 42 years, it's not gonna make it. And we
Yeah.
always try to say, if something sucks, we know that someone will love it, and it's trying to find that person among your friends and the people around you to see that I know Bjorn would like this game, or I know someone else would like this game, and that's the thing we need to focus on. Someone will like it.
Yeah.
So I only gave a bad review once, like a bad score. I can say I don't like this, but it's good for that one. But this game I gave something like a 2 out of 10. That's the only one I've done hundreds of written and video reviews.
You
And
keep us out of the suspense. What's the game? What's the game you put 2 out of 10?
I felt so crap, and in the video I said, this was before what I do now. I did another channel, and I wrote it, and I said that I feel so sorry for the developer, because I know they did their best, and I know this is a very small studio, very small development team, but this is not good. It can be fixed, but it's not good. And the game was Bounty Battler, or Bounty Battle. Yeah, it's like a Smash game where you had characters like from I think it was Hyper Light Drifter and games. Check it out, Bounty Battler, Bounty Battle. I think Merge Games gave it out as a physical.
Oh.
Did they eventually go back and manage to fix it, you think, or did you just never look back?
They probably had to, because I felt crap when I did the review. And when embargo hit and I released it, I saw that everyone gave it like a 2. And they did a physical of it. It probably stayed on shelves for super long because no one bought it. And I felt so sorry for the developers. But I couldn't find anyone that the game was perfect for, because it was broken. So it's probably like you said, Bjorn. It's hard sometimes to sell the image of, sell your opinion on a game if it's not a good game. Like,
yeah, and also like it's like on the contrast of that one, like I really, one of the reasons I love doing like first looks of random indie games that I can find on like Lurkit and Keymailers and things like that is like it's so fun when you find the gems in there, because you get like a lot of times, especially like for channels my size, you don't get you don't usually get access to the AAAs, but the small indie titles with maybe like 50 reviews on Steam, like there are some really great ones in there, and like if I can show that to at least to just one person who plays it and loves it, then I've done my job, so to speak. And like I feel happy about that. So yeah, I mean I love doing those because it's a lot of fun.
That's where you find the gems.
Yeah.
In the development there, that's where you find the interesting stuff today. I think a lot of it.
Yeah, I started playing one of those just today. I got a review key through the partnership I have with Cloud Gaming Catalog, and
Nice.
it's a small indie city builder made by two people. It's called like I go through it. Fabledom. They basically build this small village. It's like a city builder in a fairy tale sort of setting. It's just so cute, and it was so cozy. And I've played hundreds
Oh.
of city builders at this point, but it looks so cute and so cozy, and I can already tell like it's ramping up quite quickly to be like a like good decent challenge, but at the same time it's also really easy to get. Oh yeah, I mean I got into it like you're right from the get go. I knew what to do. So yeah, I mean that's one of those like I look forward to. I look forward to doing that review. Whereas the review I did just before was like I kept playing and I was like maybe next hour this game will be fun, and it just got worse and worse.
Nice.
Whereas this is like next hour will be even better than this hour.
One good point to remember is that if a game isn't a bit fun the first hour, it likely won't be an amazing game the second.
Yeah. There's a few that are hidden gems that it happens, but what's unfortunate with that is that they won't get a lot of players enjoying it because a lot of people don't have that attention span to play the game. They're like, oh, I don't like this game right now. Well, let me go and switch to a game that I really enjoy. But I did get a few times where the craziest game I think I had to play about 10 hours before I started enjoying it. But after that, it was like one of my favorite game of all time. So,
let me guess. It's Death Stranding.
No, not Death Stranding.
Yeah,
but
that's a common one.
It could have been.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular one, but you knew Stadia, but it was Pixel Junk Raiders. It was I really enjoyed that one, but
possible to play.
I know, it's so sad. I got the urge to play it like last week, and I was like, oh man, it really hit me. I was like, oh, I can't play that anymore. But it is what it is. Hopefully, they'll get a new publisher for it.
If you could, I have to ask this question: if some of you guys got the chance through a contact that had a contact that had a contact that had an uncle that worked at Google, and they could sort you out with one of the server racks. Look at Bjorn's eyes now.
Oh, yeah.
Look at his eyes. Yeah, you could get one of the racks from Google, one of the main Stadia
racks. And the storage.
Yeah,
with all the game. Yeah.
So you had all the games on this rack, and you could hook it up to a small private sort of hookup, so you could still play the games. How much would you pay?
More than I would be able to.
Yeah. Would you go
and
together and to experience it again?
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think I would even go as far as to like I would probably try to get have one copy, have access for myself, but also I could keep reliving it, but also while I did have that, also give the rack to someone like the Embracer's archive and be like, can we get this into museums around the world, please? Like we want, can we? This is a part of I think when we look back at cloud the early 2020s, 10 years from now. I'm pretty sure we will look back at it being like, and remember what when Google did Stadia and then cloud gaming became a thing, which and then because I'm still confident then that in 10 years from now cloud gaming will be quite massive. So I think you wouldn't have gotten to where it is. We had cloud gaming services before that, but I think none of them would have gotten to where they are will be in 10 years from now without Google doing Stadia in the first place. So I think not having that as part of our in part of game museums around the world in 10 years time will be a massive loss, I think. So I hope someone gets access to that, and I would love to have private access as well, of course, because it was just so nice, and especially Humankind on a tablet with touch support was so nice.
It's sad that it's not like I know you, Bjorn, probably read the news about Saab now in Sweden, like they're leaving their factories, etc., etc.
Yeah,
You still have like blueprints, you still have prototype cars, you still have tools, etc. But Stadia is like it's lost. When they
Yeah.
closed it down, you only have like I mean the actual hardware, the actual servers. They're not worth anything after 3-4 years when the
and I can
technology is old.
guarantee you that those servers are running like just be running VMs as part of Google Cloud now.
They're,
Like,
they're being used,
repurposed.
elsewhere
Yeah.
for sure.
So I mean, it's so sad that everything was just by the flick of a switch, it's lost, and nothing to apart from the controllers and the Chromecasts, it's nothing to save for.
Hmm.
I'm using mine for the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
It's-
I mean,
cool.
We don't have anything.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
use my controllers.
it's a wonderful hand control.
I've connected, turned them on only to Bluetooth controllers, all three of them, and then they're all connected to the TV, so that when we play, GeForce Now or Booster on the TV, I have like as close. I don't have to reconnect them. It's just turn them on and they work, and then I use them wired for everything else. Like whenever I play a controller game at the PC, it's like connected through a wire. Because I don't want to have to reconnect it to the Bluetooth with the TV again.
Oh,
Hey, you have one more than I have.
How
I-
many?
I
4 of them. I got 4 white, 3 white, and
I have
and
two
the
whites
founders.
and one founders.
yeah.
I
They're
mean,
so-
those founders
they're so
might be
nice.
worth something someday, but
I don't think they will. Like, I don't even use them because the battery life is just not good enough. I got better
Oh, really?
Bluetooth, controllers
mine.
than this one.
I find my battery life is pretty good on them. But then again, I mean, compared to the old like 6-year-old PS4 controls we have, so
Yeah, I haven't tried it with Bluetooth yet. Maybe it's better with Bluetooth, but when I was playing
Yeah,
Stadia.
no,
wasn't
with
too good.
Bluetooth it's quite decent because it's using Bluetooth low energy. So
Oh, I'll have to give it a try. Now, Cowboy here has something interesting. He says, I would pay $0 because I could play almost all of those games somewhere else with less issues and actual support. Let's just let Stadia die. Well, I'm just saying that. I think Cowboy was never a Stadia fan because just because he said that. So,
I mean, he was
that's
for a
what-
while. He was
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah, I'm kidding. But
no, but yeah, I mean, I get what Calvin means, but I think like there are a few titles that aren't available anywhere else, and I think for those titles, it's kind of sad, very sad. The experience itself is also kind of sad to see it go, but yeah, I mean, most games are available elsewhere. Some features I wish would come to other titles. Like I still hold out. I keep holding out that one day Sega and Amplitude will add the touch implementation that they did for Stadia to game, like release it on Game Pass with
I hope so.
with Cloud, for example. But still waiting. on
I
that.
have to say something. I can I say something regarding that?
Yeah.
The thing for me was I couldn't play one game somewhere else because I had this laptop and it wouldn't run this game very good. I didn't have a console back then apart from the Switch, and that game was Cyberpunk. And I played it on Stadia on release, and it ran perfectly.
Yeah, best
So,
way
I
to
mean,
play it.
Yes, I mean saying that someone can play it elsewhere. Yeah, if you have the technology for it, you could play Cyberpunk on whatever computer or console you might have. But like we talked about India, or we talk about places where you only have a mobile phone. That's the beauty with cloud gaming, that you can give people like GeForce Now. You might not have a 4090 or whatever card, but you can play games like they should be played.
Yeah.
So I think
I mean,
that's a
I
beautiful
played
thing.
I mean, or played and played. I launched it and ran the benchmark, and then I didn't have to actually time to actually play it. Cyberpunk on GFN just the other, just to see, I just wanted to see for my with my own eyes, like how does it run with like this new path tracing, and how does it look? And I mean, I didn't have any time to actually play it, but I did run the benchmark, and I mean, on a 4090, 4080 blade that was located in Amsterdam, I had like 20 milliseconds of latency to there, and I think it averaged like 70 FPS with DLSS on, and I mean, it looked amazing. So I mean, I think I mean, the other cloud services has picked up where Stadia left off, and I think Cyberpunk in particular is one of those. I think on launch, it was the best place to play it was Stadia. I think I think nowadays the best place to play it is probably, like, unless you want to dabble with mods and have your own beast of a PC, I would say GFN is probably the best way to play it for now.
Miss Phoenix, like, I'm not familiar. Do you play in the cloud? Do you have like any? Have you ever played in the cloud? Have you even tried it or?
Nope, I have not. So I am just a
We gotta get you to do that.
console player.
Yeah.
I'm just a really big PlayStation fan.
We need a stream where you try cloud for the first time.
Yeah.
Come on, we gotta make that happen.
Yeah, but is that something that interests you at all, or are you happy with the power of the consoles that you have? Are you like, I guess graphics is not like something that affects you much, or?
So I'm actually kind of saving up for like a PC at the minute. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go that way at some point.
Try cloud.
100%. Yeah, I know. I think like PlayStation Now on PlayStation wasn't great for me. No. I found it really clunky and just it wasn't playable at all. So I'm very much.
I agree with that.
Download it or buy the disc, chuck it in, and happy days. Although it's got to the point now where games are just so mega, I'm having to delete stuff that I'm playing to play other games at the minute. So
yeah, I hate that.
It's got to, yeah. I think it's gonna be eventually. I will end up there. I know I will, but I don't know when.
Nice.
I'm gonna nag. Yeah, I'm gonna nag Miss Phoenix about getting the Rokk Ally or the Steam Deck.
So what? My friend's got a Steam Deck, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
I haven't heard a single person go, "Oh, I got a Steam Deck and I didn't like it." I think Rokk was like, Rokk didn't have a place.
Back, didn't he?
Yeah, but he has he doesn't play he doesn't play in his bed. He doesn't play. Like, he has his PC set up with his consoles on one place. He has his PC set up. He has all the hardware. He has all the cloud services. For him, I get it. It didn't make sense in his life to use. But, like, apart from him, in that specific case, I haven't heard a single one being like, "Yeah, it wasn't good."
Yeah, I am a huge Switch fan.
It's good. It's just not for me.
Yeah. I love my Nintendo Switch, so I'm.
Yeah. No,
I'm up for, you know, like was said earlier, like I can just sit on the sofa. The football will be on in the background, but I'll just be playing on the Switch. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to move. I don't have to set things up. I can just sit there and just play, and I think it's great.
So Steam Deck or Ally, and then plug that into your streaming setup, and then you're good to go.
Who's funding all this? Who's buying me all these things?
I mean, instead of buying a PC, I could see I could see that being a path forward, and then combining that with cloud whenever you need to.
Well, just to let you guys know, I mean, donations are accepted on Miss Phoenix channel. I'm just saying, if you want to provide her a Steam Deck or anything.
Twitch.com/Miss Phoenix.
Yeah, online tomorrow. Yeah, but you know what? Like, I've recently just had COVID, so last week and the week before, and my Nintendo Switch was an absolute lifesaver. I was stuck in bed, and I couldn't really focus on too much, but just picking up the Switch. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant, and I'm a huge advocate of handhelds.
I'm a huge Switch collector. I've been collecting since like 5 years or something, and I collected like limb prints and collector's editions and stuff. And since I got the Steam Deck, I don't collect that much anymore because
It's a good indie machine. Yeah, I gotta agree.
yeah, I love the Switch. It's fantastic, but when you play something, when you play like Resident Evil 4 on the Steam Deck in 50 FPS, or you play whatever new AAA game, if you want to play that, and you can play it either docked or on the small screen, it's just amazing. It's the best feeling ever. And like we've been talking about, doing like remote play, you can play your PS5 games or Xbox games or GeForce Now or whatever. It feels like native. It's fantastic. So that's what I usually do. If I review a Xbox Series X games, I usually play it remote play on the Steam Deck if I don't want to play in the
Oh.
living room, and it works great. So yeah,
I like that. I like that. You just that's the power of remote play. I mean, this generation is perfect for that. You can play anything anywhere that you feel like, except the Switch. I mean, the Switch they gotta do something about that. Hopefully soon.
I mean, it's classic Nintendo. Like you could do this on any platform except Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Nintendo. That's the way they are.
do you know who the biggest danger to the Nintendo Switch is?
Man,
Which device?
I would say nobody, but I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hint because I did listen to your episode, you dropped
Yeah.
yesterday, and so yeah, I mean, Steam Deck and Rogue Ally.
Yeah,
The-
but not
right.
really. The biggest enemy is themselves.
Oh right,
Because-
yeah,
Yeah, they are running 6-year-old hardware, and you haven't heard any plans for them to. There's rumors that we'll see a new one Christmas or next year.
Finally, finally, rumors,
Yeah.
right?
So I mean, games are running like 20-25 frames per second. You can't do GeForce Now or anything. You can't open a browser because they would have it closed, and you should play their games.
yeah. Even though it's
Fantastic
running on
games.
Android.
Yeah. You could hack it, jailbreak it, but you can't. They won't allow you. They'll get pissed at you. But I think the biggest enemy to the Switch is Nintendo themselves, because now you will see handheld devices that whoop the crap out of anything. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that Valve with the Steam Deck, they surprised them a bit. And now we have the Rogue Ally, we have the Ion Neo 2, we have so many great devices that comes. And
Yeah.
i-
Razer
if-
Edge.
yeah. If I work in a shop and I'm gonna sell you something, if you say I want to play Kirby or Zelda, of course I'm gonna sell you the Switch. But if you say I want to play Call of Duty, I want to play action games, Assassin's Creed, etc., etc., I'm not gonna tell you to play Assassin's Creed on the Switch because that's a bad version. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you to play the Rogue Ally or the Steam Deck. So I think the biggest competitor is themselves now, that they won't do anything for the people that loves the Switch. That's why I left it.
Yeah, they'll they have the IPs, like they're so powerful with their IPs, like they're always gonna live because of that. But it's dangerous. Like they're stepping into some very unknown territories now, and I'm really curious to see where they'll go next, because they've never been into like just making something more powerful. You know, they're not going to make a Switch 2. They're going to make some kind of other thing with cool gimmicks.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
what is it going to be?
even
I don't know.
Even the Wii U, like the Wii U had a lot of things going for it that wasn't like the Wii U. Like it was a quite different thing. But even so, like that, I think that was a lot. I mean, last time they tried to do something like the last one but better, it didn't work with the Wii U. So I think they're scared of making a Switch 2 at this point.
Every second device they do is sort of like unsuccessful.
Right.
And this is something that you could argue like, nah, I think the Wii U was successful, etc. But this, Uwe Bergström, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that took the Game & Watch and the Nintendo to Scandinavia.
And
he's sort of like
that story is just amazing. I think I've told it on the show before, but it's just
It-
Yeah, love that story. How I got
yeah,
it.
he said that to us. Yeah, if you look at it, every second version was not a success, and he's been selling them for ages, millions of them. And
Yeah,
I
since the
think,
80s.
yeah, since '84 or something. And I think that Nintendo are just scared about what they should do.
Mhm.
What they
Yeah.
didn't do that they should have done was release more updates, like a new Excel, a new better processor 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Now they have to do something that's so radically different that the risk is that they won't succeed. They will do something that won't sell.
But like they might not succeed, but they're not going to be in trouble just because it's Nintendo.
No,
They
no.
have a lot of money. Just to be clear. But you're right. It might. Switch is going to be so hard to beat. Like there's so many platform, so many consoles.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see where they're going. But we're getting impatient because we want to know. We want to know what they're getting at because it's going to be something super different.
Yeah,
but
and I mean,
was it?
they are working on something. Like that hardware team they're not idling. They have been working on something for years now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
At
Would
some
you-
point.
Bjorn, would you trade your new Google Stadia server, that private super secret one, for all the rumors of and see the prototypes of the new Switches?
Hey.
Probably not. Because I'm not a Nintendo guy. Like I don't think I have. Like I have very few moments in my life when I've been excited for a Nintendo release or played something on a Nintendo device which was like, yeah, there's nothing like this on anything else. My kids both love Mario Kart. I just want to whenever I play Mario Kart, all I can think is I just want to play Crash Team Racing instead. Like it's Crash Team Racing is so much better. Can I please just do that? I don't like Zelda Ocarina of Time was one of them, but there are a lot of other good RPGs on other systems. So like I've never been one to like Nintendo's never really managed to drag me in, and I think it might be the fact that I just grew up on PC. Like I never had any Nintendo console except for my Game Boy, and
See,
that was just a Pokemon device. So.
Yeah, I grew up like with Pokemon and like all that stuff. So I've always bought like a Switch or like a DS just purely for Pokemon. Like that was enough for me to just get the actual like console, like handheld.
I was like 25 when Pokemon came out. I'm so old.
Yeah.
I was
Wait,
in the
the
school
first one?
playground with my cards, just dealing
Yeah.
behind the bike shed.
I
Cards,
love
obviously.
Pokemon though. I love Pokemon. It's amazing.
Pokemon is for all ages. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. I think the oldest picture of me gaming is with an original Game Boy. I think I had my my diapers on, and I'm just there playing.
Last week.
Yeah. And I was playing like a football game. It was pretty cool. I love this picture. I should probably show it someday. It's really cool. I really enjoyed the Game Boy also.
yeah. Let's just quickly then. I think we covered the main topic we wanted and so much other amazing stuff. But I think I mean we're soon almost going for 2 hours soon, and I did want to bring go over some of the news a bit quickly. So and let's see if there's something that sticks. I did see that Sony's bought a new company.
Right.
Congrats, Sony.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know what Firewalk Studios has done. Anyone familiar with them?
Let me check. No, I'm not familiar with the name.
They're working on some live service game I saw.
Yeah, it's a AAA multiplayer game from former Destiny veterans. They were going to publish it, and now they've actually just bought the studio outright. So
That's cool.
it's going to be interesting. See what comes out of that. We did get, speaking of the Ally, we did get a hint of the performance a few hours ago. There were some first look of the chipset that it's probably going to run on, or at least like a custom of it. So and it seems to be able to push What was it? Forza Horizon on like GTA 5 on very high graphics at an easy 81 FPS at 1080p graphic, which is it's quite decent. Doom Eternal at 83 FPS in average medium settings.
Yeah, was this on 1080p? It was, right?
Yeah, 1080p.
Yeah. I assume you can play most new games 60 FPS on 1080p, and that's ridiculously cool.
Yeah, and given the size of the screen, right? Like it's totally
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
like
yeah,
1080,
I would be fine. Yeah, 720 would probably look fine as well.
It will,
on that size.
and then you can play it probably close to 120 hertz FPS.
So it all comes down to the price at the end for the Ally. We'll see what it is. Do you guys have any guesses on the price?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think. Do you want to know Swedish price or
let's do dollars because it's easier for everyone.
The rumors say 649 for 512 gigabytes of SSD.
Cheap.
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
899 for 1 terabyte, and I think we'll see it for 7,490 in Sweden, something like that. And I think they have to match that because otherwise it's it won't be a Steam Deck killer.
Yeah, you're right.
Valve has seen that the majority of the buyers of the Steam Deck buy the 512 for $699 or $649 or whatever it is. So I think ASUS is gonna aim the lower tier model for the same price as the highest Steam Deck, and I think they can manage. This is probably an effort done with Microsoft.
Yeah, that would make sense to like have subsidize it a little bit through, like make some money through selling Game Pass with it.
Yeah,
because I mean, Game Pass on that thing is Game Pass PC with that thing. It's going to be worth it.
It's a killer, and if you can buy it with 3 months Game Pass or 1 year Game Pass, etc., etc.
Yeah, or like subscribe to Game Pass for 2 years, and like, just the same way if I can just like pay 2 years of Game Pass and like have part payment, like
a finance.
A financing option, just like I do with my phone and the contract for the phone. Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Bjorn knows this, but I'm not sure about the rest of you. That in Sweden they sell the Xbox with Ultimate as a down payment, and it's cheaper if you buy Game Pass for 2 years and you buy the Series X. It will be more expensive, so it's subsidized and it's a down payment. So I think you pay like $30 each month for the Series X and Game Pass Ultimate for 2 years.
Yeah, so and then you get to keep the console.
Yeah. If they can do something like that, it's an amazing, it's gonna be killer.
I mean, something like $25-30 a month for Rogue Ally and Game Pass Ultimate. Because I mean, why not bundle Ultimate at that point so you can do streaming as well? That's a no-brainer, I think. If they do that, I might even be able to convince my wife to let me buy one.
Yes.
And I hope that happens because that would be so cool.
We're gonna talk nerdy to each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of nerdy, if you're a lot of the reason nerd like I am, you might want to pay extra for the Gollum game because there's a DLC that adds voice acting in Elvish for certain characters. But you have to pay extra for it. Like it's not.
Why?
So if you don't buy this DLC, which is included in the deluxe edition, they're gonna speak English. The elves are gonna speak English when they speak to each other. If you buy this DLC, they're gonna speak Elvish.
Wow.
They explain it by saying but we had to train these voice actors to teach them Elvish, and that cost extra. So and this is just most people won't care. This is for the super nerds. And on one hand I get it. On the other hand, really, pay extra for voice acting.
They had to put them through Elven school for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
University
I mean,
degree. And, yeah.
Now I
Exactly.
kind of want to get it. I mean, I kind of want to get it that like the DLC just to see how it is. And because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings nerd who's seen the movies over 300 times. So
Did you see the trailer?
I've actually like intentionally not watched a lot of trailers for this game because I the first trailer I saw was like, yeah, it kind of looks meh, but at the same time I do want to play it. Like it is Lord of the Rings. It's got like I can't not play it. So I intentionally don't want to get myself too down on it. So just ignoring it until it releases, and then I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna down talk it, but if you look at the image there of Gollum,
Yeah, it doesn't look that good.
No,
it looks very much single A.
it looks old.
Yeah. But I mean, if
So,
it's fun to play, I guess that's what matters in the end of the day. So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it is. So we'll see. But moving on, Finnish studio Rovio has been bought by Sega for $706 million. It's quite a sizable purchase.
Yeah. Sega seems to be doing well, which is good.
Yeah, and I haven't seen much for happening. Like I haven't. What has Rovio been doing since the initial Angry Birds releases a couple of 6 years ago?
I think they just keep putting games out for Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Most likely, right? Yeah.
Huh. For me, it was just Angry Birds was a phase that just long gone. But
They've made a movie, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Not
They
that
have.
long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good IP.
yeah,
I mean, if Sega decides to do like a Sonic-like 3D game with the birds, that could be cool. But I would more consider Sega to buy Capcom or something than Rovio. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe Matthias, maybe they're getting into the mobile market too, right? Like
They
are.
Yeah.
Interesting.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what. You see it there. Maker to boost Sega's mobile ambitions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean they
So-
have found a lot of success with remaking the mobile editions of the old Sonic games. They're they're good ports. So hopefully we can get some more cool Sega titles coming to mobile.
Fingers crossed.
It's a very
Yeah.
important move to get into the mobile segment.
Yeah, I mean everyone wants in. I think I think if Activision Blizzard didn't include King, Microsoft probably wouldn't have bothered picking them up. Like
No.
they're buying it for King. The other things is a good bonus.
Yeah.
But Netflix has famously they started doing mobile and now they're branching out. Apparently, they have hired the Halo veteran Joseph Staten to make AAA games for Netflix.
So by that, do they mean AAA mobile games for Netflix? Or
Maybe that's becoming a thing now, so maybe that's what they mean. But I think it's maybe they are branching out and trying to release a console game and then maybe or a PC game, and then if you have a Netflix subscription, you can play it. Or maybe they're doing some cloud thing. I have no idea. Interesting to see, nonetheless. I think.
yeah, I would love that. And I know that Netflix eventually they mentioned that they were going to go in the cloud. So maybe, who knows, right? Like I don't have any sources, but maybe they'll do like a native cloud game of some kind.
Yeah, and to be fair,
Like
the mobile games that they have put out, like if you have a Netflix subscription, they have some great games on Android.
It's really good.
That is
Yeah.
free, basically. Like they're included with your Netflix subscription, and there's
Turtles.
some.
The
Sorry?
Turtles game. The
Yeah,
Turtles.
the Turtles game.
Yeah, Turtles. There's
Terra
Terror.
Nil.
Yeah,
There's
Terra
something
Nil.
like the new reverse
Yeah.
syllable that everyone is talking about. That is really, really, really good. That's on there as well. Yeah, it's. I mean, I overlooked that for like a year, and I was like, maybe I should take a look what's out there. And now I realize it's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you get Oxenfree 2, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they bought that studio too, right?
Yeah, and Valiant
They want
Hearts
that.
2 from Ubisoft will be exclusive to Netflix. They will be releasing an exclusive Assassin's Creed as well. So
Oh.
It's easy to laugh at them, but I mean, it's the same thing with Amazon. It's the same thing with Google. when Amazon, Google, and Netflix want to get in on games, because today you don't compete. A game company doesn't compete with another game company. You compete about screen time.
Yeah.
So that's why these like Amazon, they do servers, they do shopping, etc. When these guys, they have money, all of these got so much money, and we have to take them seriously. I believe Netflix can do some really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they have also tried like the you remember the Minecraft Telltale game?
Yeah.
That is available on Netflix as a you can watch it on your on your phone or tablet or PC or TV.
Wow.
And then you make your decisions using the remote, like in like it's you're watching it as if it was a movie, which works really well. There's also some really, like some more basic like 2 option things. Like there's my kids love one that's like it's a Barbie story, animated Barbie game, essentially. But it's like choose your own adventure. Like you get like some branching storylines. It's I think they played it through to see all the endings at this point. Like I didn't even know Netflix did that. So yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. I think Netflix is definitely one to keep an eye on. Speaking of Activision Blizzard, by the way, South Africa is set to approve the merger. Adding to, I mean, they were never going to. I think South Africa was probably not going to be the regulation part that would block the whole thing in that regard. I think that's more the UK, EU, or US maybe. But one more point for the acquisition, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. That's good news. Depending if you're into it or not, but I'm very excited for it.
I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Less excited, to be honest, about Niantic and Capcom launching a new Monster Hunter game, which is basically, I mean, to my understanding, Pokemon Go but Monster Hunter. And I love, like, me and my kids, like my whole family, extended family, my kids' grandparents, like my mother-in-law, even, like, we all play Pokemon Go. But it's so mismanaged. Like they're making so much money out of this thing, and they're not like they're releasing so like everything they're releasing is such low effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like do they have like 3 people working on this game? Or what's going on? It's mind-boggling.
I feel that's a trend we're seeing with Game Freak in general. Like when they released their first game on the Switch, they had so many opportunities to make a new Pokemon next gen, and they kind of failed at that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're not evolving as fast as other developers, but that's how I feel. Like they do improve. It's just not as fast as we would expect a gaming development do.
Yeah. Next up, Boostroid has been. We have actually 2 stories from them. First of all, they are running for 3 more days. You can get 20% discount if you join their Discord, and they are also doing some giveaways of the Batman games. I think tomorrow, for anyone who's like, if you're a subscriber of them, you can just join it and have a chance to win any of these 4 Batman games. And they also brought out today. They sent out an email today that they are launching 6 new games onto the service: Chicken Police, Neighbors Back from Hell, El Hijo, which was the Stadia title, Endling, and Scarf and Townsman.
Nice. So Chicken Police was also a Stadia title,
Yeah.
and Scarf had rumors, like they had the Stadia logo on it, but it never came out.
Yeah,
Endling!
I
Was
remember
Endling
El Hijo looked really good. It's a stealth game for
Yeah.
kids.
I actually did a first look of the game last week, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, coming to Boostroid apparently now. I think it's already out even.
Okay.
And Xbox is finally releasing some new games into Game Pass. It's been like 3 weeks without any news on that part. It feels like, but finally we're getting. Obviously, Minecraft Legends is out earlier this week. Matthias, you didn't like it. I kind of like. I enjoyed it so far, but I haven't gotten that far. So your mileage may vary. It's an interesting take on the RTS genre. In any case, but I do think I've heard a lot of reviews saying like it is designed for the younger audience.
Yeah,
Coffee talk.
I watched some people play Minecraft and I didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on.
Yeah,
I
it
had no
is.
idea. I just didn't know what was
I mean,
happening.
it is an RTS, but it's very different style of RTS. It's more of an action RPG meets RTS than anything else. It's strange, but I kind of like it so far. Did any of you guys play Coffee Talk?
I did
I
not
did.
play it. Oh, nice! I'm very familiar with it, but I did not play it yet.
I love it.
It's so fun. Yeah, it looks really good. The soundtrack is only lo-fi music. It's amazing. Yeah, I've got.
You should play it. I got the physical on that one as soon as it dropped, and it's one of the games I really enjoyed on Switch because it's a game that you can play in bed before you sleep. Really good visual novel, and yeah, this is a game I'm waiting for.
Yeah, it's a nice. I got the soundtrack and
Oh,
I love
nice! It's
Yeah.
super awesome soundtrack.
yeah. But some fun fact about this: the main developer of the first game actually passed away, and so the rest of the development team decided to go ahead and do the second game anyway. So that's a cool homage for the main
Yeah,
developer.
that is cool. And I played just a little bit of the first one on when I did my whole I'm gonna try every game with touch on Game Pass, and it looked cool. I just didn't have time to really put time into it at that point. But the second one is out. Yeah, as of yesterday.
Yeah.
No touch support though on the cloud.
No.
So what do you do in
It's-
this game, guys?
It's not a
What's-
long game.
Okay.
You're a barista, and you just talk to clients that come in and make them drinks. So it's
And you
it's
make coffee
just
It's kind of
Yeah.
like a visual novel, but with bar mixing elements in it.
Yeah.
if you, there's another game if you like
Oh,
VA
yeah, Valhalla,
11
right?
Hall
Yeah.
A.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
It's
And
the
that's,
soundtrack is really good in this one too.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Medieval
check them out.
Dynasty is dropping on for the Xbox One audience. It's already available on cloud, PC, and the Series X and S. Homestead Arcana. It's a new game they're releasing today, where you become a farming witch and pioneer the range that has been mysteriously corrupted by miasma.
I saw Miss
maybe
Phoenix's eyes glow up there. I think that's her type of
Farming
game,
game?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the art style of this image. It feels very
Yeah, I
much
really like the
Miyazaki.
It's
style.
cool.
It looks
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. Cassette Beasts will join Game Pass PC, where you it's an open world RPG with turn-based combat. It seems like
That looks really cool because you can, if I remember correctly, you can combine monsters from cassettes. I think this is a Raw Fury release. And it's sort of like pixel style graphics. Check it out. That's a game that I'm very interested in.
Yeah, I
Cool.
remember scrolling past it and not like just seeing the name and like the one image and didn't really pay much attention to it. But now I feel like I should go back and take a second look because that sounds
Yeah.
a lot more fun than I thought it was.
The graphics reminds me of like Pokemon Black just by looking at it. Like it's very like sophisticated pixel art. I love it.
I think if you like Pokemon, you will love that one.
Nice. Yeah, that genre needs more competition. I love how Sky Climbers is looking. I mean, I do have my Icona here. But that game. I mean, Sky Climbers is still in our like alpha, so I mean, we need more competition in that field. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition. That's a mouthful. Coming next week on next Thursday, and coming cloud as well.
Yeah. It's a fighting game with
fighting game with Persona and some other
intense story in there.
Yeah.
It's hard
Then
to follow.
the last case of Benedict Fox, dropping next week on the console and PC. No cloud on that one, unfortunately. But then again, they have said that we've like announced before, like games coming to cloud, and console and PC, and then it's still on cloud anyway. So I guess we'll see. Yeah,
It looks interesting.
yeah, I thought so. It looks quite quite interesting. And then obviously the big next title from Microsoft being Redfall, coming on May 2nd. And honestly, Redfall feels like, and anyone else agrees that it just feels like Left 4 Dead with vampires and more, and not made 10 years ago.
You know what? I haven't looked
That's
much
the vibe
into
I'm getting
it.
from it. I'm not like
But-
I've seen every time I see it, like that's just the vibe I'm getting, and that's fine. That's fun. I Back for Blood is a lot of fun. I play that a lot with some
Yeah,
friends.
tell me more about the game.
But like it's
I'm not too
but
familiar.
it feels like to be like it's kind of like that same game but with vampires, which could be fun. Like I'm not saying it's going to be bad. It's just not a bit underwhelming maybe. But it doesn't have, as long as it's fun. That's the end of all that matters.
Yes. Is it online co-op, this one as well?
Yeah, online PvE.
It's
Open
only
world
30 frames per
FPS.
second though, right? From what I've heard.
Yeah,
That's a little bit of a-
in 4K.
Okay, it's not too bad then.
No,
Yeah, that's not too bad then.
it's the super AAA game apart from Starfield that Microsoft releases this year.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah,
I like
mean,
the
I
stuff.
think I'm pretty sure certainly it will be a really good game. I think the initial trailer had me thinking, for some reason, thinking what would be slightly different from what it turned out to be. And I think I kind of get the feeling that I'm not the only one thinking that. With like, if you go and like see the public opinion on it, it seems to be like, this is just Left 4 Dead with vampires. And like, yeah, that doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all.
Yeah, I
Works for
mean,
me.
that doesn't sound bad at all. But I think those people and me with them like kind of expect something a bit more maybe initially. But I mean, as long as it's fun, it's fun. That's all that matters. And
Exactly.
also, I just need to point out before we move on to the last story. Vampire Survivors: Tides of the Foscari DLC is out on all platforms. It's super cheap and it's super good.
It's fantastic.
It's just more of the same, but I mean, it's amazing. Well worth the that was it £1 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs basically nothing. It's 2 new levels, 3 new characters, 5 new weapons. More of the game.
You heard that they won the BAFTA, right?
Yes, best game of the
Yeah.
year for 2022, and the well deserved.
Yeah, and
Well deserved.
it's so well deserved. It's so cool to see the most simple indie game ever. You only use the stick to play, and it's just amazing. I think it's so well deserved.
Yeah, definitely. And final story before we wrap up and head to bed, those of us here in Europe.
Bad?
GeForce
What?
Now. Yeah, it's you North Americans. GeForce Now are launching a special discount for a while. I don't know how long the sale will be, but $29.99 or your local equivalent for 6 months of priority membership, which is like, I, as an ambassador for GeForce Now, I do have access to the Ultimate tier, and I can honestly say, the Ultimate tier is amazing. It's for like the hardcore gamers who wants to try it cloud. They will love it. First, for the most of the general audience, priority is where it's at. Like it's such great value. I mean, you don't need the extra 2 hours of gaming time with Ultimate. You don't need the 4080. I mean, a 2080. I think you get like up to like when you need to a 2080 with the priority tier. That is plenty enough for all games.
The difference between the free tier and the priority is so big compared to the difference between the priority and the ultimate. So, it's definitely worth the price.
Yeah, so hefty discount for the first 6 months, basically. So if you've been on the fence, now's a good time. But yeah, priority is where it's at. Ultimate is amazing, but that's not for everyone. I would say priority is for most people. But apart from that, they are dropping some new games. The Dark Pictures Anthology is dropping like all of it.
Good stuff.
Coming to cloud. And
Really good.
Also, I mean, if you like horror, which I don't, but really good horror games I've heard. F1 2021, for some reason not the latest one, but 2021 is now coming, and that's good. And other than that, they just want to point out some Monster Hunter, but we are also getting Dead Island 2 releasing on Epic Games Store today. And Survival Fountain of Youth, which I've not heard about. So we're going to take a quick look at that. It's a challenging single-player open-world survival game set in Caribbean islands.
I'm out. I don't want survival in my life.
Yeah, I've looks good for stuff, good, but then again, like there's a lot of survival competition in that market. So good luck to the developers. It's probably good. It's like mostly positive reviews so far, but yeah, been there, played a lot of that. But guys, before we close the stream, let's go around the table and let everyone know where you will be available to catch more of your stuff. Phoenix, let's start with you. Plug your shit.
I'm not gonna sing.
Oh man!
Oh no.
So, subject to my copy arriving, I will be playing Dead Island 2 tomorrow, and hopefully streaming it around maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock UK time, or maybe a little bit later in the evening, depending on when my delivery arrives from Amazon.
Oh,
Yes, you can find me on Twitch. For those
It's
of
so
you that
good,
are
that
not
game.
aware. I spent so much time on the first one with friends, and yeah,
Nice.
I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. I can't remember how many years ago it was. Someone told me it was 12 or something crazy.
oh, I don't think it's been 12, but it's been a while. Yeah,
I was like, has it really been that long?
yeah.
Yeah. So some Dead Island 2 streams maybe next week then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
definitely
Over at
next week.
twitch.com/MrsPhoenix. Matthias. I mean, I'm assuming most people watching this probably aren't Swedish. But do you guys do any? You guys do some English-speaking interviews every now and then. I know, but do you do
Yeah.
anything else in?
We did Tom Heaton from when they released The Devil in Me, but that's the only English stuff we've done. But you can reach me on my Twitter, and it's G Dumgren, like Dolph Lundgren, but G Dumgren.
I'll find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spaces,
and-
no dashes, just GDUMGREN.
Ian. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Dumgren. That's
And if
me.
you do speak Swedish, definitely check out Gaming for 40. It's an amazing podcast and
Thank
an
you.
awesome community.
It's the
Ninja,
best
what's-
community.
Yeah, it's mind-blowingly good. Ninja, what's happening with you this week?
So I'm actually on a break for about 4 weeks, so I'm not going to be streaming much. So the only thing I'm doing is pretty much this Rock Players thing. But you can find me at YouTube/@NinjaGuyX. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to be streaming some Sherlock Holmes, The Awaken. I think it's the last one released from a Ukraine company, Frogware. So check that out. But other than that, it's just going to be a few things here and there. But yeah, I'm enjoying my vacation. So
Yeah, good. And I don't really have much planned other than so I am going to try to schedule some sort of stream together with for the Outright Games and Safe in Our World mental health charity drive that they're doing. So throughout since 2 days ago or 3 days ago, they've been April 18th they started, and they're gonna run it all throughout May. And so yeah, I'm gonna stream something in the next couple of weeks for that. I'm also trying to set up an interview streaming for this live interview with the community manager for Radical Forge. So that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
And so yeah, so if you feel like donating for Safe in Our World, which is a mental health organization, they have their event currently, then you can just go find Play Your Way 2023. I'll try to make sure that we get the donation link into the description of the video. Otherwise, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Also, ER Gaming, our friend of the show, is running a big spring giveaway over at Twitter. So definitely go and enter that if you want to have a chance to win GFN Priority 2 months or Monster Hunter Rise with DLC.
Woo.
And as always, Rokk has his massive giveaways. That page is now reloading, where you can win Star Wars Jedi Survivor, drawing in 7 days. Cyberpunk with GFN Ultimate in 10 days, and then Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for Switch. Can be all of those you can win over at Rokk. And then he has his usual weekly giveaways as well. So definitely do keep an eye out for that. And I think that's it. I think we managed to fill another 2 hours easily this time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to all our lovely guests who joined us as well. And I will see you all next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in.
Thank you.